This is my 2014 Kona Honzo, size small, steel frame. I built this up from the frame up, which I ordered online. I ordered almost all the pieces online, and I thought I would just do a quick little review of my build and what I think of the bike after probably about a dozen rides now. Built this bike up in Fort Collins, Colorado, and I got about 3 rides in before the snow hit. Lucky for me, I got to come out to California for the winter, and actually brought my bike with me and got to ride it a bit out here. So now I'm a little bit more used to it. As far as the build goes, like I said, I built it from the frame up. The drivetrain is the crank is a race face crank, and then also a race face narrow wide 32 tooth chain ring, which I really love. I'm coming off of a 3x10, so the 1x10 is a little bit hard to get used to and a little bit rougher on the climbs, but I really like it so far, and it's gonna make me a stronger rider, so that's good. As far as the derailleur, I have a Z 10-speed short cage derailleur, as well as the matching Z shifter. For the brakes, I went with Shimano XT brakes, Ice Tech brakes, as well as the Ice Tech rotors, and I really like them so far. I'm coming off of Avid Elixir 5s, which were good brakes, but as you'll read and as anyone would likely tell you, the Shimanos really can't be beat right now, and these XT brakes are actually phenomenal. Even Stoney the pup likes them. As far as the rest of the stuff, I went with the Stans ZTR Arch EX rims with the Hope Flow Evo 2 hubs right there. I went tubeless with Maxxis tires. I have a 2.35 Ardent up front and a 2.4 up front and a 2.35 Icon in the back. Really liking that setup. The fork, I went with a 2012 RockShox Revelation. Great fork so far. I rode a Fox on my previous bike, and I'm really liking it. It's set up at 140 millimeters. Really liking the fork. As far as the seat and seat posts, also seat post and just an old WTB seat. Not a great seat, but does the trick right now. Easton Haven stem, Easton EA70 low rise bar up front, and a Cane Creek headset, and then these random blue grips. I kind of went with a little bit of a blue theme on a couple pieces, and so far I like it, but not really a big deal. One of the things that I did do is I moved from clipless pedals. I had the Shimano, I think they're the M52s, and I went to these flats. These are the Saint pedals, and I got some mountain biking shoes, and I'm really liking it so far. Actually, I was a little bit worried about losing some of that pedaling efficiency, and it's definitely notable at some points, but I really do like it so far. So as far as my review of the bike, the thing I was most worried about was, one, going to a steel frame and whether or not it'd be heavy, bulky, and also going from a full suspension to a hardtail bike. I should say back to a hardtail bike. I rode a 2011 Fuel EX8 for the last couple years or so. Loved the bike. It was a 26-inch bike. I loved it. It was an absolutely great trail bike, but I wanted to kind of try something new and move on. And I was looking at these bikes. I was looking at tons of 29er full suspensions, and the all-mountain hardtail category really caught my eye. And it's something that I decided to invest to after a lot of research, and something that after a dozen rides or so, really like it. It's really a lot of fun. It's really different. The bike itself comes in at about 28 pounds, which I was surprised with. Is very light, in my opinion at least, very light for a steel 29-inch hardtail. Even though it's a size small, I was very happy with that. That's including pedals too. The bike rides great. It climbs really well. Like I said earlier, you do notice missing those extra 2 chain rings, or I should say probably the granny chain ring. I do notice that a bit. I have run out of gears quite a few times, but that should make me a stronger rider. The other thing I did notice, probably the only other con, was the lack of full suspension. If you are going to ride some really rough terrain, is quite noticeable and can be a little bit jarring. But it's something that I think that I've already got used to. As far as how it rides, it's it's an absolute beast. The short chainstay really helps with the maneuverability and kind of the flickability. It's easy to get up in the air. It's easy to get the front wheel up. It really just kind of crushes things. I find myself almost picking harder lines on purpose just to watch it kind of crush and roll over stuff. And I've done some really technical and rocky trails already on it, and it kind of just runs right through some stuff. I'm really liking the bike so far. Really liking the investment. So far, I think it was a pretty solid move for me, going from full suspension to hardtail if anyone's interested in it. Like I said, this is the 2014. It's a small model, and I built it frame up. If anyone has any questions, please just leave them in the comments.